The value of a blessing cannot be measured by money. It has the potential to change a person's life and the destinies of many. We should never be stingy with blessings, even to strangers. A simple blessing could bring someone warmth and happiness for a lifetime. Years ago, I was wandering the streets of America. On Christmas Day, I spent the entire afternoon standing under a tree opposite a fast food restaurant, smoking through 2 packs of cigarettes. The streets were quiet, and the restaurant was unusually empty. As I finished my last cigarette and looked at the ground covered with cigarette butts, I sighed. As evening approached, the streetlights began to flicker on, their dim light reflecting my dismal prospects and filling me with despair. With my hands in my pockets, I felt something that made me uneasy yet exhilarated. Forcing a smile, I crossed myself with my left hand and fixed my gaze on the fast food restaurant that was about to close. Just as I took my first step toward the restaurant, a little girl emerged from the nearby street. She had curly hair, rosy cheeks, and a joyful smile. She was carrying a Barbie doll and skipped towards me. Surprised, I halted. She looked up at me and smiled deeply, saying, "Merry Christmas, Mr." I was stunned. No one had remembered me for years, let alone wished me a Merry Christmas. "Hello, Merry Christmas," I replied with a smile. "Can you give my doll a gift?" she asked, holding up her Barbie. "I'd like to, but I have nothing to give," I said, feeling embarrassed. I had nothing except something in my pocket that I could never give. "You can give her a kiss," she suggested. So, I kissed her doll and then planted a deep kiss on her cheek. She beamed with joy and said, "Thank you, Mr. Tomorrow will be better. See you tomorrow." As I watched the beautiful little girl skip away, singing, I called after her. "Yes, tomorrow will be better. It will be." Then I walked away from that place. 5 years later, I have a warm home, a kind and gentle wife, and a lively, healthy child. I teach English at a university in the UK, where my colleagues and students respect me for my competence and confidence. Another Christmas came. The Christmas tree was adorned with stars, my child played with building blocks, and my wife brought in the turkey. Before dinner, I closed my eyes and prayed silently. When I finished, my wife asked, "What were you thanking God for?" I quietly replied, "Actually, I stopped believing in God 5 years ago because He didn't bring me anything. Every Christmas, I don't thank Him, I thank a little girl who changed my life." I turned to my wife and said, "You know I was in prison." "But that was in the past," she said, her eyes full of love. "Yes, that was the past, but after I got out of prison, my life fell apart. I couldn't find a job, no one wanted to work with someone who had a criminal record." I continued, filled with sorrow. Even my old friends no longer trusted me. They avoided me. No one offered any comfort or help. I became desperate and wanted to take revenge on this cold, indifferent society. That Christmas, I had a gun hidden in my pocket. I stood across from a fast food restaurant, looking for the right moment to rob it of all its money. My wife's eyes widened. "Jay, you were mad." I was mad. I thought, at worst, I would be thrown back into prison, where everyone was equal. "What happened next?" my wife asked anxiously. I recounted the story to her. The little girl's blessing warmed me. Since I got out of prison, no one had given me such a heartfelt blessing. I grew emotional. "Do you know what changed my fate?" My wife looked into my eyes. The little girl told me, "Tomorrow will be better." Thanks to her, I realized life goes on, and tomorrow can indeed be better. Whenever I faced difficulties and felt helpless, I reminded myself, tomorrow will be better. I stopped feeling inferior and became confident. Later, I met your father, who suggested I return to the UK. You know the rest of the story. It was that little girl's blessing that changed my life. My wife gazed at me lovingly, placed her hand on her chest, and said emotionally, "Let's thank her and bless her for her happiness." I placed my hand on my chest once again. The value of a blessing cannot be measured by money. It has the potential to change a person's life and the destinies of many. Therefore, we should never be stingy with blessings, even to strangers. A simple blessing could bring someone warmth and happiness for a lifetime. The value of a blessing is immeasurable. It has the power to transform not only the life of the recipient but also ripple through to influence many others. So, let us not hesitate to share our blessings, even with those we do not know. A simple, heartfelt blessing can provide warmth and joy that lasts a lifetime.